the woman is like, yeah, I'll compete against that ex male. She got face
I know.
sliced off and beaten. And I said, yo, I was the only one on Twitter who said, beat that harder. And
No,
people
that's
are
what
like,
I've been.
the
That's what I was
fuck?
saying. That's what I was trying to say earlier. When I was at the tournament, all the girls like fight for them to be there. So okay, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Little
Good luck.
roughhousing, and it's kind of cute. Like when you see male on woman, when you see man on woman violence, there's a cuteness to it as well. Like let's not pretend being violent against a woman it's a bad thing, but there's also a cuteness. You're seeing like you know how brothers and sisters fight. Yeah, like anytime you see, there is still love there. Just because you're attacking someone and beating on them and abusing them doesn't. A lot of abuse comes from love, bro. Like, have you ever had an abusive parent? Or why are we pretending abuse is not a form of love? It is. It's just love that's going too fast because the forerunner of love is anger. You know, when you want to give someone love, but it comes out too fast and you can't control it, it's like a lightning burst. It turns into a punch. And it happens, you know, like when you see two boxers going at it, you're seeing high levels of love. It's just that it's not transmuted correctly. It's going out too fast. And so, yeah, when you see humans hating on each other, it's just a lower version of love that must be transformed. That's why I say it's like, guys, lead with love in the world. I don't hate SNEAKO. That's why I made this space saying, don't be a jihadi. I don't want you to be a jihadi. I have love for my friends. I don't want Myron spending the rest of his life on stream, right? I want him to do other things. I don't want Fresh talking about women for the rest of his life. Like people, everyone has to evolve a bit. You know what I mean? And I'm worried Pearl is going to be in that place where 10 years goes by and she's like, I'm arguing. Or like, Pearl, will you ever change someone like Anna Kasparian? She's like the king of, she's like the ultimate, she's the boss. Will you ever change any of her opinions? Like, I seriously doubt that.
I don't really do debates anymore unless I'm paid. I actually had this similar conclusion.
Well, what do you
I,
think of SNEAKO
I
being a
don't.
jihadi? Do you have a problem with SNEAKO?
No, I don't have a problem with SNEAKO. I don't really follow the jihadi stuff. I kind of tune it out. But I agree with what you're saying about the religious extremism stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I
In
mean,
general, yeah. Sorry.
when have you seen a religious person not turn out to be like a total like I love my boy Elijah Schaefer. He's a great
Oh
guy.
yeah.
It's just he kept making these Christian posts, and I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know if you should be. I don't know if you of all people should be posting like that. Like
So
leave the Christian post to the honest guy like Zherka, but don't be behind the scenes and posting about Christianity. What the fuck? What are you
well,
doing?
Sarah Stock called into my show and she literally said word for word, "You're just jealous of me because I make better life decisions than you." As
Wow.
she was fucking Elijah Schaefer.
Yeah.
um, but
Yeah.
I
No.
think it's just when people have a fixation on something, it's usually that they're like they struggle with it. Like I kind of go in on fat people a lot because I think I have it in me to be really fat, you know?
No, but
So
you don't like fat people?
no, I mean,
I mean, well, I never understand hating fat people. It's because like we can all have that day where like bro, some months of the year I love to get fat. I love to get
yeah,
like no, not just regular fat, like high water weight, body mass, huge, like breaking the skin. I love some months of the year. I just like to get jolly. I don't know what it is. And people don't, a lot of people think, oh, it just happened recently. No, if you look into my life, every year I'll have like a fat few months of the
yeah,
whole year. And I've been doing this for like the last 15 years. Like I think it comes from like that off-season bodybuilding mindset, which is it doesn't really work if you're not bodybuilding that much anymore, or you're not doing that. But man, when I see fat niggas posting on TikTok what they're eating and stuff, for me it's hard to hate them. I know they're doing bad to themselves, but for me it's hard to hate them because I have a few months of the year where I can really let go. And I can't explain to you how fun it is to. Have you ever intentionally try to get fat? Where not intentionally, but
no.
no, for a few months you're just going like, yo, you're just going at it. Like, have you ever stopped doing cocaine for a few months and switched to food?
I've never done coke. Sorry.
Okay, it's a
Okay,
wild
no,
transition. Like
but okay,
when
do
you
you
have
know the
to,
person do you know the person that goes into a bar and they're like, "Oh, I don't drink. I can't drink. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking." It's
yeah,
like they have less self-control than people that can just have a drink and put it down. And I think that's like what
exactly.
happened with Elijah Schaffer is he was saying, "Be Christian, be Christian, be Christian," because he struggles like the most with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, and I'm kind of my point was I'm kind of like that with food because I'm like I that's like I don't really struggle with drugs or alcohol. It's like food for me. So like it's kind of like that's why I think people like we have those fixations is because it's like we hate the thing we struggle with the most.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've noticed the biggest issue in the world is repression. I don't know why no channel. I try to YouTube this. I try to look online to see if anyone. There's not one video on YouTube that actually talks about repression of anything. They quote it. They try and intellectualize it and all that. They try and go there in theory, but no one actually talks about what this stuff does. And I noticed this like you can't find a human problem on earth that doesn't come from repression. You look at a lot of religious accounts on Twitter, these young men are sexually repressed, but they love to pretend they're crusaders. You're not on no crusade. You're nothing like me. And but you meet these virgin accounts who are really sexually repressed, and then they try and they talk about Jesus, but there's no love in their heart. Like if they made an edit talking about the Christ, you can tell they don't even believe. Most Christians don't even believe the Christ existed, and they're just talking out of like robotic, mechanical. Jesus is king, and I noticed that for a couple years. I'm like, oh, it's because they're young, but no, this is a epidemic that humans don't know who God is on earth. Especially the religious ones know the least. That's what the stories about the Pharisees is all about. And I'm like, wow,
So
I used to give people the benefit of the doubt, but now I'm at a point where, hey, before I talk about religion, I'm talking about psychology. You are sexually repressed. You need to fix your life immediately. You need to solve your human issues before your spiritual issues. You are sexually repressed with a crusader emoji thinking that Zherka gives a fuck about you. It's like, dude, Zherka sees you as a repressed loser. You need to understand this is a physician talking. This is a doctor. I am a soul doctor. I'm a soul physician. I'm telling you right now, a lot of you guys talking about God, no wonder there's no conviction in your voice.
what would you tell them to do, Zerka?
Oh,
Like if
I'll
they
say this, bro. Back in the good old days, and not that I had this growing up, but I saw it in TV and movies. There's always some kind of masculine coach or someone. There's always some kind of toxic masculinity archetypal force telling young men, "Hey, go get laid." Hey, and that force has disappeared from the world. Zoomers are not drinking alcohol. That's a good thing. But there's something extremely dangerous about not drinking alcohol. It's where is that coming from? Is it because they're more pure? No, humans are not more pure. It's not like Zoomers are more pure. It feels that way, but it's actually wrong. They're not more pure. They're washing a lot more. But when you look into the Zoomer, it's not that they're more pure than the millennial, but it feels that way. Like in my heart, I actually think millennials are way more dirty than Zoomers. But we're not counting the fact that they're not drinking alcohol. It's not because they're pure. It's that they're sexually repressed. They're not going out. They're not meeting women. They're not doing anything adult. And Pearl, when I think of everything horrible in my life, it's always been from those days where I was repressed, where I'm like, something will happen if I just never leave this room. No, you have to leave your room. You have to go to the bar. You have to go to what are these third party spaces called? There must be a social life to the Zoomer. I don't care if he's going to Harvard or if he's broke as fuck. There has to be someone in society that forces these young men to have a social life. And a lot of these people don't realize that if they had a conversation with God, it would not sound like anything they think. Zoomers actually think if they had a conversation with God, that God would say, "Yes, you're doing everything great in your room, and you're." God would never say any of that. God would say, follow your love. And your love is to be social with your friends and go out and blah, blah, blah. God would say, go into that world, enjoy it. You're going to age out of it. And then you're going to become a recluse as you get older, like every old person. God would never tell young men to stay in their room with suicidal thoughts. And a lot of these young fucking religious kids on Twitter, they don't realize that they are assuming. The most dangerous thing you can do in reality is assume a conversation with your Lord. Because if you're assuming what God is like, 99.9% chance you will get it wrong. And the person that gets it the most wrong, yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that people, they are having a conversation with what they think God sounds like. And it gets very demonic. And a lot of people don't realize that everything that feels normal has to actually transpire. Yes, you're supposed to go play some basketball, talk to those girls, blah, blah. All that normal stuff. There must be more normal in your life. It can't just be a Zherka telling you to go be more normal, right? Bro, I'm an older guy, so I can repress myself for a couple of months. I enjoy doing that. But man, it is not healthy. It is not healthy. There should be balance with your social life and everything you do. Because holy shit, bro, it's like I feel like a bull being let loose in the dirty streets of Colombia. I feel whole, and that's just the winter. But man, do I feel like whoa, I gotta pull on this fucking leash a bit because it is wild how much a couple months at my ripe age, a couple months of repression has what it's done to me energy wise. And I'm like, okay, let's try and intellectualize this. What if I repress myself for not a couple months? How about 10 years? And that shit scares the fuck out of me that that's the norm when you look at Zoomer studies. I'm like, okay, so I can't even hang out with a Zoomer because, like, deep down, they want to kill everyone and themselves. Like, if you're around a Zoomer, you're in danger. Like, these people are the most sexually repressed freaks of nature, where it's like, at least millennial isn't going to kill. And is there anything worse you can do than kill yourself? It's like, holy shit. Is that archetypal force in society that tells young men to have a more normal upbringing? Is that going to come through Hollywood or movies or no? It doesn't come from anywhere. It doesn't. I feel like
So
99% of memes online is about being alone in your room.
so you're basically saying that like people are getting weird because they're not going out.
Yeah, there is the starvation of social life and I'm judging it off of my winter. I repressed myself for a couple months to do my work, and now I'm letting loose because it's springtime. And I'm just comparing the two different Zerka states, and I'm like, whoa, that is not healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a couple of days to myself, a day of 12 hours of philosophy to slow myself down. But I just remember thinking, I'm like, okay, if that's what a couple months of repression does from social life, what the fuck are these Zoomers gonna
Yeah.
go through when they let loose? And are they gonna let loose? Are they gonna? And if they are gonna kill themselves, who is the voice that stops it from happening? Who is the voice who
Yeah.
even like what adult, what millennial, what adult could actually talk to a Zoomer and say, "Hey, I get it." Not even me, because a Zoomer would look at me and be like, "Zerka, you only did a couple months. I've done 10 years." It's like, okay, I can't relate to you, but I'll tell you this: why are humans pretending like they are not in danger when they're conscious? When you are conscious, you're in more danger than when you are asleep. Did you know that? You're not going to sleepwalk off your building, but when you're conscious, you might have conscious thoughts that make you jump off a bridge. Being conscious doesn't mean you're conscious at all.
Yeah.
And people don't realize this is
Well, it's
to be conscious, you must be whole psychically.
yeah. No, I kind of feel that because I feel like because I got a smartphone when I was 12. So I do feel like there's certain experiences you like miss out on that like I don't know what it's like to um like I don't want to be recorded like doing anything crazy has been a thought in my head since I was 12. Do you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
other people got to like, I don't know, party or like go crazy or whatever, but like There was Snapchat when I went to college. People were like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's cameras
Yeah.
everywhere. So, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Well, there's like a billion reasons to not leave your room anymore. But there are also these YouTube videos. Have you seen these YouTube videos, the trend, where a guy says, "Hey, I'm 60 years old and I wasted my whole life," which I can't even relate to that because, probably, you know what it's like to have a bit of financial and fame and that kind of success, that you can, even if you fall off, you can die happy that you did what a top 1% human cannot do. So to me, it's like out of the picture. But if I was a normal guy and I watched one of those YouTube videos where it's like, I'm 60 years old and I wasted my whole life, dude, go watch some of those YouTube videos on the algorithm that are trending, and you see their demeanor is identical to the Zoomers, where it's like everything, the stars just rolled by in one spot from like the bedroom window. They just watched, a time lapse of 70 years go by. And I read these studies with Zoomers not drinking. I don't care about the not drinking, but it really means they're not being social, which is horrific, like horrific to the soul. You don't know that the soul needs stimulation with crowds. It needs it, even if you're individuated, even if you're a loner, especially if you're a loner. And I'm like, damn, man, it's like the one thing stopping people from committing suicide is this space that I'm doing right now. And nobody actually talks about this. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, you look at Zoomer's parents, not even the parents understand what's going on anymore. Like, anyone else feel like parents got a lot dumber in the last 10 years? The human beings, I see these clips on Twitter where this guy tries to pick up some 17-year-old girl and the parents are just there smiling unconscious. And I will you in the heart if you try and talk to my daughter. What the fuck? What happened to those kind of parents? And now it's just
They're
unconscious.
not paying attention to the kids.
They're right there though. That's why I'm like, yo, what is going on? Where parents are not parents anymore. That is not American parenthood. American parenthood used to have jokes like, "Hey, buddy, don't talk to her." Now it's like the parents are just smiling unconscious. Are you gonna make us famous? Your daughter? It's like, what the fuck is going on with that? Like, they're clueless. And I still remember Pearl being so fucking freaked out. I was on a Twitch stream. I think it was I was so like, I'm used to parents trying to get me to date their daughter. I've been approached many times at the mall or whatever, and they say, "I have a daughter for you," and it's all cute and stuff. It's always someone much younger. And I'm used to that, whether I got a beard, whether I'm clean shaven, whatever. So I get it. It's cute. Some parents are like that. Some moms, no dad has ever done that. Well, one dad has. K Bubble's dad did, where he watched all of my Twitch content of me just raging and screaming at women. And then I was sitting next to my girlfriend and I said, "Yeah, I made like some marriage joke or something." And he's like, "You're not gonna marry her. You're gonna marry my daughter, Zherka." And yo, my girl goes, "What the fuck?" The girlfriend right next to me on the couch. And on stream, I started laughing, and he's dead serious. He wanted me to marry his daughter. And I remember being so fucking flattered because this is the first time, when parents approach me at the mall, yeah, that's cute. But when someone does it after watching content, so they actually know what I'm like, that's mind blowing to me. Where it's like, you can watch me yell at women all day on camera and still think I'm a good person. You can see me speak all vulgar and still realize that your daughter's safe with me. So I was like, his name's Checkpoint. I was flattered by him. I had him on the Discord and all that. And I just remember thinking, like, yeah, but I could keep their daughter safe, financially free, all that. But now parents are very different. Now parents nowadays are. There's always this clip of some guy trying to, and I find it creepy, by the way. If you're just like hitting on some girl in front of her parents, I keep seeing these clips on Twitter, and the parents they look deeply unconscious, and I'm like, dude. 10 years ago, parents at the mall did not operate like this. Even if a woman is trying to show me her daughter, they are conscious. They want to know more about me. They're engaged. They're not blank face. Like, bro, does it feel like parents in the last 10 years have become much more like NPCs? I'm not
I mean,
talking, my parents are
I
cool.
think it's just because the wife like dominates the house. So everyone's afraid of the mother's emotions.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. Yeah, is the feminine dominating, or is testosterone just skyrocketing towards the floor?
Uh,
Excuse me,
Probably,
earth rocketing,
pro-
earth rocketing.
probably both.
Is the men getting weaker, or is just feminism on the rise?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to ask why the fathers are never willing to walk away. Like, never. No matter like the disrespect, they'll never walk away. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy in a like I think the greatest problem in the future will be those Zoomers. Because there's if you look at it, not to be a doomer or black pill, but you know the only answer those Zoomers have right now is doing drugs. Like if you look at it, Zoomers are talking about Clav, and what Clav is taking 5 different drugs to be socially normal, he said. That is I shouldn't be the guy who says this, I shouldn't be sounding like the anti-drug channel, but that is wild that, the leader of the youth is Clav right now. He takes 5 different drugs, he says, for his anxiousness to go away in public, which by the way, I think that's overblown. I'm positive that it's not 5 drugs that you need to be more base. I'm pretty sure one drug could do it. I'm not saying anti-drug or anything, but I'm saying, and plus he has the recreational stuff on top. And I'm looking at the future. I'm like, okay, if Zoomers are going to be filled with this much loneliness and their only gate is going to look like someone like Clavicular, are all Zoomers just going to become drug addicts? Like, are all Zoomers gonna, and who the fuck are we to stop them if it pushes them away from despair for, let's say, 5 to 10 years, if it buys them 5 to 10 years? Because I do believe that drugs do that. I believe alcohol does that too. I believe there's a lot of potions and devilish things that, can buy time. Like, if a kid is suicidal and he's on some kind of drug that makes him social and that gives him 10 more years on earth to figure things out. I do think that that's a better 10 years spent than not taking a drug and yourself. I do think that, it's hard to be pro drugs for the youth, but it's also really terrifying to not have a firm stance. Because, you look at someone like, you look at a suicidal young man and you give him let's say you give him the religious answer, and he goes to church and he marries a woman, and it turns out she's had 30 black side of her on camera. And then the church does that, that thing where they shrug their shoulders. The priest shrugs his shoulders and says, well, sorry, you just gotta be more religious, I get. You know how the church like pretty much snakes the youth nowadays? Like the church is all about making sure you marry the greatest, biggest, largest society. And, the church doesn't care if yourself. They just want to see you forgive people, even if your inner world is shattered from it. And you look at this, like I guarantee you, Pearl, in the next 10 years, you're gonna see so much resentment of modern Christianity because a lot of these young men are gonna marry and get cheated on. And it's kind of like everyone hates the red pill because it's real. Like I don't know why people think Zherka loves the red pill. No, I would much rather change the pill if I could, right? you know, and the red pill is like, yo, these and and what happens when these antisocial kids go to extreme measures to become social, and then they have to marry and blah blah blah. It seems like the future is so fucking dark because the religious institutions, their game plan is for you to be a, and if this is getting censored, I'm saying FAOTCUCK. That's what you have to become. F- and and I exhale because I feel for the youth right there, where it's like that fucking priest is gonna look you in your eyes and say, "Marry the." He'll say it in his own cute way. And he'll never bring up the Jungian statistics of what happens to you if you do. Like have you ever noticed that like religious people never bring in psychological studies? Because as soon as the one study says this kid is prone to killing himself now, all the religious leaders will be like, okay, well, I didn't tell them to do that. My bad. Like nobody wants blood on their hands. And it's like, guys, we have to understand that this modern religious world has to evolve. You know, religion has to sound more like Zherka in the future. It has to be more honest. Because, man, if it turns into whatever the fuck we're seeing, you're going to see Zoomers rebounding from loneliness to marrying, cheat on them, and leave them. And what happens? They just come back to Zherka and say, well, you were right. Well, I don't want to be right. And I don't think you becoming a jihadi SNEAKO channel, I don't think that's going to do any good either. And it's like, why are humans trying everything except what's psychologically sound? You know? And it's like, where are we going to head from this? Because Jordan Peterson's not talking about it. You know, if you talk to Jordan Peterson, his solutions are, it always sounds like he's talking about a world 30 years ago. The world changes a lot every year. Like before COVID, OnlyFans barely existed, right? So in the last 6 years, the world changed immensely. By the way, the studies of girls being on OnlyFans, they're not correct either. You know, they say, well, 1 in 10 girl, 1 in 9 girl, no, dude, that's studies that show she has an OnlyFans that's public. Look into the studies that show about secret OnlyFans accounts. Look at private OnlyFans accounts. It's a lot more women than you think. And I remember I'm not even against OnlyFans the way you guys are against it. I'm against Instagram. I think Instagram killed dating, not OnlyFans, believe it or not. So go ahead, bro. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'll wrap it up soon if no one's gonna talk. Just want to give my two
Hey,
cents. Yeah.
hey, Zherka, good to see you. It's nice to finally meet you. I don't know if you remember me, but I was on Cozy way back in the day. Um,
Dalton, I think I do. I think I'm like the only human on earth that knows what cozy TV is besides the Groypers, right?
at this point, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize. First of all, the real cozy TV. I don't care how much you're going to defend it. The real cozy TV was D Live days. The D Live days was the real fucking where everything started. Remember when Nick was on D Live?
yeah. No, I mean that's
I think
real.
those were
That's
the OG days. Cozy was fun too. We also had the
well, there was like
Destiny
a
arc during that,
dude.
I think.
There was like a period where like we were all like scattered, like because everyone got banned on D Live. Remember after like J6, so like everybody
Yeah.
went to like we were on like people were on fucking like Trovo,
Yeah.
dude. Like what
Yeah.
is Trovo? You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean?
Well, Dalton, I was gonna here's something I gotta ask you. Here's something that sounds a little rude, I guess, but I don't really give a fuck how it comes off. Am I the only person on earth that because I was watching Nick when he had like 300 viewers and not like religiously, but I'll check in, and then it was like, excuse me, 900 at 800 viewers, not 300. 300 is like way early days. Eight when he had 800 viewers, so like definitely there since I would consider it the beginning, and then I got really involved during the Charlie Kirk thing, which was fucking hilarious. But something happened after Nick went mainstream last year on that or this year on that generational run where, bro, I stopped. Well, you know, I watched a couple clips here and there, but after this many years of watching Nick religiously, I'm out of it. I'm not into politics anymore. I don't even watch. I'm
Yeah,
tapping out after 6 years. I think it's been 6 years, or no, since 2018. That's when I first saw him, right? Since 2018, I watched. I kept up, and I would go away for a couple weeks and come back and whatever. But I would even consider myself like I know the whole lore. But after this generational run with Piers Morgan, something in my heart said, not doing politics anymore. I don't know what the fuck happened to me, but I stopped watching all of it. I still watch a 10-minute clip of Nick every day for just to catch up with things, but I'm totally out of politics and I feel so fucking good, man. Like I feel like holy shit, is that draining? You don't realize till you stop. Bro, I'd rather watch Roblox right now than politics. I think it all stems with Yeah, I think it all starts with Trump starting that war with Iran. I think I'm like, yeah, this is where I check
Yeah,
out.
well,
This is
well,
getting
you
gay as
may.
fuck.
I think you're like speaking to something that a lot of people that have particularly like been watching Nick or engaging with this side of things for like a significant amount of time. Whereas like so
I think I was
many,
just way.
so
I think deep down, you see him. I see him like as a brother. All I've ever wanted for is deep down. It was like a personal thing, not even a political thing. It's like I just wanted to see Nick mainstream because I felt like
yeah,
he
you're like
did.
fighting for his
You're
success, and then he
fighting for
makes
his
it.
success
Yeah.
because he deserves the mainstream. Soon as he becomes mainstream, I don't give a shit. Then I feel like I've done what I was supposed to do. I can finally, and it was the weirdest feeling because I'm like, why did I go that hard for like just like no human has ever gone that hard for me. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I've never in my life followed maybe Star Wars or something like that, but I've never followed something that closely. And as soon as Nick became mainstream, I realized, wow, this whole time I thought I was supporting Nick because of his political positions aligning with mine. That's not the reason. I was supporting Nick because I saw him like a friend. You know how you bond with someone when you watch them enough? And I'm like, holy shit, that experience my audience has with Zherka, you know how they love me, support me. I had that with someone, I can't think of any, it's not, didn't have with SNEAKO, didn't have, but with Nick, I was like, holy shit, I rode till the wheels burnt off. Soon as he becomes mainstream, I thought it was the war with Iran and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, this is like when the bird flies away, like it's
Well,
over.
I think what you're like getting at in a major way is like you sort of realize like if you've watched Nick for long enough that like the powers that be are there and they're there regardless, and ultimately it's going to be like it's a small group of people that are truly going to like change the world in like internally that are going to like enact policy that like matters on like a political level, right? So like
But I'm saying did you
well,
ever feel
we
like
like yes, yeah.
did you ever feel like you supported Nick more than the fucking politics? Just Nick as a
Absolutely.
person. Like
Yes.
when
Yeah.
Nick talks about his mom and dad having cancer, you start to really get angry with Piers Morgan. And to me, I'm like, I had no idea how personal it was for me. But man, let me tell you this. It sounds like, I'm off that train. Bro, politics is the worst thing you can get into long term. Like, sure, Nick's getting paid from it. We're not, you know. I'm not getting paid to do political. So this idea where it's like, holy shit, my life's gonna be about politics. It's like, dude, that was the biggest fucking sham. I mean, thank God Nick is funny and I can see him as comedy as well. But holy fuck, message to the youth. You're in a fucking 10-year war with Iran. Nothing any of us did worked. Everything we did backfired. We failed miserably. MAGA has never looked more pathetic. It's over in so many different ways I can't explain. And bro, I'm not going to hold a grudge against Trump. I'm just going to say I'm not tuning in anymore. But Dalton, you've been there since Cozy TV. Are you telling me you're still fucking dedicated to the cause? It's like, bro, your country's
Well,
in a war with Iran. It's
yes,
over.
I'm,
You've
I'm, I'm,
lost.
I'm not dedicated. Like I'm not
Are
seeking.
you MAGA? Would you consider yourself MAGA right
No,
now?
God, no, of course,
Yeah, okay.
of course not. I
Because
think like
you see how many Groiper
Zerka,
comment?
I will
This is what
always
blows me
support
away about
Nick.
Groipers. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Groipers that are still MAGA. You see that shit?
yeah, yeah. I have, yeah. It's
What
insane
is
because
that
they're
about?
well because they come a lot of these guys are new, right? So they're like they don't really understand the dynamic, and they don't have like they have a fundamental misunderstanding of like what it means to like fight for truth and
But it's
honesty.
over. It's all over, Dalton. Nick can do his show for the next 3 years. Nothing's gonna change. It's over. It's finished. Everything
Do you
is
think
done.
so?
It's over. Yes, I said it's imagine Desert Storm starts and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep fighting." It's like, bro, you're in Desert Storm. It's over. What do you mean how are you gonna stop Desert Storm? But it's the new Desert Storm with Iran. It's everything I did for the last 6 years It had the opposite effect. All the tweets I made, all the political, everything I did. And I really do feel for me, Myra, Nick, bro, we look like a bunch of fucking idiots right now. Like everything we did led to the opposite outcome.
What
What
you
the
mean? Because
fuck?
you mean for like fighting for Trump early on and stuff.
Imagine imagine we were pro Biden. That would have had a better outcome than this. You
Well,
know?
yeah. I mean, I think this is how most young men feel, and I think that it's a rational feeling, and it's the right way to feel if you are not, if you're not involved. That's, I think, like the normal response, right? Because if you're like a staffer for a congressman, you might have
But
some
would you,
confidence,
Dalton,
like
would you
interest.
blame? Would like if you look at history, would you blame someone like Nick, Zherka, Myron? Technically, you can blame us because everything, all the hundreds of thousands of viewers and all that stuff we did to call out the Jewish world order just made it stronger. Like
No, no, I wouldn't.
you know
I
someone named
wouldn't.
Adam Green? You know
Of
Adam
course not.
Green?
Yes, of course.
Adam Green had a guy on his show who said the more you call out, the more powerful they become. I forgot who it was, but Adam Green had someone, and I remember thinking about that. I'm like, imagine if that's real. Like the more you hate on, the more powerful they become. It's true. It's literally in the Matrix. It's true. So if you ever want to see who got us into this mess, bro, the MAGA got us into this mess. It turns out Destiny was right. That fucking
I don't know about
the
that.
blue hair guy,
I don't.
Destiny was the
No,
good
no,
guy
no.
the
I don't
whole
know.
time.
No, 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 no,
We're
no.
the Sith.
I don't
We're
know
the
about that.
Sith. Dude.
I'm pushing back on that. That's crazy.
Now we are the Sith.
I would say, like, I think first of all, you're not to blame, right? Because in your faith, right, people can be like a child is not necessarily going to be punished by God because he steals a cookie or something like that, because the child doesn't know any better, right? So people on earth, you're going to be deceived in ways that you cannot even possibly comprehend.
Yeah, but were we
And
deceived, or maybe we're just the bad guys?
well,
Maybe have you ever thought that
I
we're
like to think that we're
what
the
if
bad
we're
guys in
the
a fun
bad what
way.
if everyone with the red hat is just the bad guy?
At this point, they certainly are. Yeah, I would say so. I
We
think,
have
like,
blood. We
if
have blood on our hands, dude.
no, dude, you're
Yes, we do.
you're true.
We have you supported on Cozy. I
No,
don't
you
think I know a channel on earth that supported Nick more than me, and it all led to this. Nick, Myron,
you
Zherka,
don't think that there's
Dalton
going to
have
be,
blood on our
dude?
hands. Dude,
Don't
we
put me
have
on there,
blood on
bro.
our.
I'm
And
good.
now you know when Scripture says, "Lead with love, do not hate." The more we hated on the Jews, the more blood we got on our hands. It's like, dude, we were supposed to lead with love, man.
I mean, do you not think that we've, like, I mean, at least like our side of things has done that largely, like
You know,
Nick
we
in
should have
particular?
hugged these Jews. We should have hugged these Jews, bro. They just wanted some hugs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do agree with you there in a way, like they do like thrive off
Like
of
Dalton,
being
I'll
hated.
say that. I'll say this: every single time we choose to walk away from Scripture to do the political thing, we get. Humans have a choice. Do you want to follow Scripture, or do you want the political answer? The political answer is own the lib. No, let's not own the lib. Let's ask them, why are you cutting off, bro? Why are you? We love you. Why are you trying to cut your? Why are we not going to saying we love you?
Oh yeah, I
Why
mean,
are we
what,
telling?
why? I mean, like you.
Why did we own the libs?
Well,
Why
yes,
was that?
this
What,
was the beginning
dude?
of
I'm telling you, when we pay for our sins, we're all gonna regret owning the libs,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Jesus Christ is gonna look.
creation.
Jesus Christ is gonna say to all of us, every right winger, he's gonna say, "Why don't you just hug the person cutting off?" That's what Jesus Christ is gonna. Bro, we fucked up. We didn't wash no one's feet. We are gonna burn in hell. We have blood on our hands. And bro, and it's like I'm too old to blame it on boomers, man. You guys can do that, but no,
Well,
I
no,
think I'm
but
gonna
you're
take
Zherka,
responsibility.
like you're the 2016, 2015, all that, like the shock jock crap that we were doing, like inciting the debates and constantly antagonizing people. That was, I mean, think about how damaging that was, long term to culture and like social cohesion. People, and this was like, I mean, it's on the left too. It's not just on like the MAGA Republican types or whatever. People could not exist in the same family together peacefully. They could not have family dinners
Yeah, but
together.
just like how you said the child is not guilty, I don't blame the left because they are like children. It is
That
our
yeah,
fault.
I mean, yeah, that's probably fair. But I think a
And
lot of
if the
I
red
mean, dude,
hats are
but we
more
were too. I mean,
conscious,
I was 16, I was 15, when Trump announced.
oh come on, you're not going to use that excuse, bro.
I
You
was a
have blood on
baby.
your
I was just a
hands.
little
You
baby,
have
dude.
blood on your hands, dude.
Babies can't have blood on their hands unless they're being
Dude,
killed by
you weren't a baby.
Jews.
Iran started this year. You have Iranian blood on your hands, man. You, me,
Then Sneako's gonna be
Myron.
pissed.
Well, Sneako's just pure evil. First of all, like,
I
who the
know,
fuck is Sneako?
dude. He really
He's
is.
literally, dude. When you look at Sneako, you see a human
Dude, I'm
who.
shocked.
And I'm telling you, if Sneako got into power today, he would cut all of our heads off. Like, I think he's that kind of a person.
Yeah, yeah, he probably is.
Like, he
I mean,
would
I always
cut
got like a
Nick's
weird
head off.
vibe from him. I met him at AFPAC, and I always like, I don't know, something was off. He didn't like seem very cordial. Like, when you look at someone and you can sort of see that like something is wrong. Like maybe I don't know if it's
I've never hung out with Sneeko one on one. It's always been around bitches. Like he likes women a lot,
yeah.
and I guess that's straight.
He's a
But
big fornicator.
I could imagine hanging out with Sneeko one on one, and I could just imagine his gayness flaring. Like he just looks like he's always under a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah, he's like overcompensating with the pussy.
Yeah, well, it's good when there's girls around. He acts normal, but I could just imagine him being very angsty, and so I
Yes,
never
yeah,
hung
that
out with
dude.
him. Well, I
That's spot
people
on.
say,
Yeah,
how the fuck you spend that much time with Sneeko and never one on one, unless there's a chat or whatever. But I'm like, bro, people with high angst levels, I'll never chill with them one on one, like never. Like if you cannot be comfortable in your own skin, I'll see you at parties, but I'm not gonna hang out with you and stuff. And he just looks like he's under immense pressure to become a jihadi, like immense.
he literally is on like his audience capture is crazy.
Yeah, I'll say Sneeko got snaked by Andrew Tate. You know, Andrew Tate made him a Muslim. Andrew
Dude, Andrew
Tate
Tate made
made him
him a
a
Muslim and then
fucking
dropped him off
Muslim.
at the corner and like
Yo,
left.
Andrew Tate made him a Muslim and then called him an idiot for becoming a Muslim. He has like the funniest
But
shit
weren't
that's
you
ever
telling
happened.
him? Weren't you like telling him like,
I
dude,
thought it
this
was a
like Tate's
joke, bro.
bad or
I
whatever?
never, I swear to God, when he was being a Muslim, I thought he was just going through a phase.
Yeah,
So
that's what
that's
I
why I let.
thought.
Yeah, I genuinely thought, oh, this guy likes to be laughed at. Yeah, we all like to be laughed at to some degree. So I genuinely thought it's like Zherka touched. It's funny to me when people laugh at me for stuff like that. I thought it's one of those things where it's like I don't want it in my memory, but it's still so funny that it happened. But bro, he became a real
Dude,
jihadi.
imagine he was doing it as a joke and then like he was so self-conscious about it he like couldn't let go and now he's just like stuck
Yes.
that way. He like
Yeah,
knows he's going to hell
that's how
deep
the
down.
mind works. Yeah, that's how the mind works. The
He like
more
has to
people
live.
call the
He's just gonna live with the fact that he's like going to
He
hell forever.
started as a joke. The more people that called him a fake Muslim, the more he wanted to prove them wrong. So he becomes a real Muslim out of spite. And it's like, dude, I just got to say this. If you're an Arab, I think you should be a Muslim, right? I'm not those people who say, come to Jesus Christ. If you're an Arab, you should be a Muslim. If you're a Buddhist, if you're a Chinese guy, Asian guy, whatever, you should be a Buddhist. But if you're Sneeko, you grew up Catholic and you go to Islam, you are a conflicted retard, bro.
Well,
You
bro,
are
he
a
was
fucking.
born conflicted. How many
Is there
races is
anything
he?
cooler than? Is there anything cooler than being raised Catholic? Like I wish I had that upbringing. I had none of that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, and
I
there's so
wish
much,
that would be.
I had like a very like flippant like we go to church every now and then kind of thing. It wasn't like, but that's like installed tradition, and like
No, but
structure.
imagine as a kid going to traditional Latin mass.
That'd be sick.
You don't even know what's going on, and it feels awesome. Just
Yeah.
feels awesome. And I'm like, bro, Stiko had that, and he replaces it for hello.
In New York, bro.
What?
Traditional Latin mass in New York as a kid. Like that's
That must be
crazy.
fun as hell.
That's so
No,
cool.
Connecticut. He's from Connecticut. He's not from New York. I don't
Oh.
think it was New York. Yeah, he's from Connecticut. Yeah, everybody tells people.
Dude, traditional Latin mass in Haiti would be so cool, dude.
To me, it's mind blowing. Your parents give you a layup, like they raise you Catholic, And which is funny, you look into most young guys who are raised Catholic, they always come out of it. So it's not really a layup if you start as a child. I would love that upbringing though. I hate that I have to learn this stuff at the age of 26 years old. You know, like at 26, I got really into it. And it's like, holy shit, it would be so much fun if I had like a catechism classes and all that as a kid. I wish I had that layup. Some people are just lucky like that. Like imagine having a Catholic upbringing, running away from it for 10 years, and you come back to it and reawaken it as a nostalgic thing.
But
That would be the best fucking incarnation ever.
But maybe it is like a anxiety problem with him because he sort of has done that with like his career. I remember he put out that tweet talking about how he was going to distance himself from Nick and how it was like hurting his money and or his career and all this stuff. And it was like
Yeah.
and he like ran away from that and then he came back obviously because Nick started like getting popular and was blowing up
Yeah.
everywhere.
I thought that was so funny that Nick let him back in. I thought it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, and then he was like, dude, how schizophrenic do you have to be to like sit there and think that like Nick is organizing the audience against you when you're like just an unlikable person?
Well, no, it's more like you're shitting on white people and Jesus nonstop
Yeah,
for
it's
2 years, and Nick is watching the clips. And but Sneeko is this weird. He's weird. He thinks you. He says to be his friend, you have to skip the parts where he makes fun of Jesus. He literally tell you that to his face. I remember him telling me that, and I'm like, well, I have to skip the parts where you sound like a fucking idiot. What do you mean I have to
yeah, and then he
skip?
like
What are you
want
talking about?
and then he like wants us to like not make fun
Well,
of
it's even worse if you
Muhammad.
have an audience because he wants to convert my audience.
Yeah,
I was like, what
exactly.
the
Yeah, it's like an
fuck are you doing?
opportunity.
Yeah. And it's just sad because it's sad that everyone thinks they have the right answer, but the truth is Jesus Christ is God. And it's not like none of these people are gonna get punished for not knowing, right? That's not really how it works. But at the end, there will be a shame souls feel that like Zherka got it right. What? Zherka was just a coke guy. Like there 8 billion people are gonna be like, holy shit, and obviously on the other side, I'll be happy for them that they joined the Christ force. But on this side where I'm mischievous, these people are like, you really think God is not going to be perfect sacrificial love? You think God is going to be whatever Muslims say it is? Are you retarded? And how scary would that be if God didn't sacrifice himself for all the evil you've done? That would be a terrifying experience because then you're going through the Catholic ticket booth, and then you're going one by one through everything you've done. It's like, no, dude, you
Yeah,
want.
and well, and
No.
Sneeko is like literally living the life of someone who like had, like he took his, um,
Shahada.
yeah, dude, yeah. It's just it seems just so ridiculous, and like I wasn't taking it seriously, like how you said it, you thought it was like a joke, like I did too, and I think that's how a lot of people felt, or at least it was like over exaggerated, like he was like playing it up, but that's clearly not the case. The guy is like totally all in on this thing. Um, I don't know how real it is, I guess, is like my hiccup. Like I don't know if this is like I
What do
saw
you mean you don't
Bradley
know?
Martin. Bradley Martin was like he like thought that it was a grift like forever. Until like very recently. He was like, "Oh damn, like okay." He's like committed to like getting shit on all the time. And that's sort of how I feel still. And like I don't know.
I think I think it's over. I think you can close your eyes and imagine Sneeko in. First of all, the cool thing is a lot of people don't realize that these guys who become jihadis, there is a saving grace. Like for example, if in 10 years Sneeko comes back to the Christianity, gets interested and feels it, you don't know how powerful that is when he's seen both sides, where he's been a jihadi and now he's a Christian again. That is a much stronger incarnation than someone just being a Christian their whole life. And I think that's going to happen to Sonny Faz. I don't know about Sneeko because he wants to turn into Malcolm X, but let's hope it goes that way because
Well,
holy
dude,
shit,
I mean, yeah, he because he could like
That would
when
be
you're,
awesome.
well, yeah, you're given a blessing of knowledge basically, and you can wield that. And especially because like he's sort of like has he's really gone like so deep into it, and he's like, I mean, I guess he's taking it seriously in a sense where like he's like learning and like talking to all these people and like getting all the information
But
he
he's
possibly
learning
can.
BS, dude. He's
Yeah,
learning
no,
BS.
he is, but like that's kind of like you're saying, like if he does come back to the church, he will easily be able to like identify that
But
in
but
other people,
but
that
why
bullshit.
would he come back to the
I
church?
don't think he
That's like Tom
would.
Tom Cruise isn't leaving Scientology because they do everything for him.
Yeah, he's too in. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is like Tom Cruise in Scientology. He's like bought in
Yeah.
totally.
He is the Tom Cruise of the fucking
Sneako's the
streaming
Tom
world.
Cruise of Rumble.
Yeah. I thought he's on Kick. He's on Rumble.
I don't know where he is, bro. I don't watch him. What?
Dude, go watch the clip I posted of him, bro. He's talking about leaving this world. Like, what the fuck,
Dude,
man?
what?
He's talking about how to leave this world. Just pray 5 times a day. Why not 6, bro? Why don't you
What the
pray
fuck?
6? Why don't you pray 6 times a day? Why 5?
They're
Why
so
are you
goofy.
why are you pussing out at 5? I want to go fuck with some Muslims. And feel like actually I pray 20 times a day. You guys are pathetic. You guys are a joke.
Dude,
Oh
he's still
man,
wearing red too, huh? I thought that shit was done. I thought he was like not allowed to do that or something.
I don't know. Sneak will do 5 prayers and then he'll have sex with a stripper on her period. Like, what the fuck,
Dude.
dude? Zherka, what should I do, bro? It's like, leave me alone, bro. I always felt how strange it is when I was in Miami. I was like, how am I doing all these drugs with these whores? And I am not as like Sneak was telling me he's like deep throating some bitch till she throws up. And I'm like, how am I doing all these drugs and I'm not even 1% as degenerate as Sneako? He's dead sober. Well, when
Well,
he's not
bro,
on what the fuck? He's just
but
a
be real, but be
degenerate.
real.
Have you ever met someone who's a degenerate without drugs? That's who he is.
Well, I was
He's a
gonna say, like, but
degenerate.
like, think about it though, like cocaine, like, I mean, I've
Bro,
done a
he
lot,
does anals and he does all this evil
but
shit that
what but yeah,
you
but
could
you
give me
like,
all the
bro.
drugs on earth. I will never put my finger in a human being's asshole. That's satanic.
Well, I was gonna say because like it is like harder to get it up on blow, so like maybe that's like maybe it is like kind of a good thing.
And then what? He got leaked for doing drugs, and it's like this guy's a disaster, bro. This guy needs to chill. Sneeko needs therapy, man.
Yeah, he does. He needs to like level with his audience. He needs to just start being honest and just like cut all the bullshit. And
Well, he likes power. Have you noticed it's all a power trip? It's always about power with this guy.
yeah. Well, listen, I wanted to tell you that I appreciate like everything that you've like done and said over the years, and I don't want to glaze you too much, but you're one of the great. I think you're one
Thank
of
you,
the. I
Dalton.
think you're one of the greatest thinkers, like literally, of our generation. I think you're like like the godfather of the red pill in a major way. I think that you're like. It's unfortunate that it sort of got co-opted by all these like freaks that like don't
Yeah.
actually believe in anything. They're like soulless vessels of nonsense, and you're like actually you have consistently been a thinker, and you've been very wise, and I think that you've actually provided something even with all your flaws, which
Mm.
it takes a real man to not only acknowledge those but to like confront them. So
Oh,
I
bro,
appreciate you,
I
man.
appreciate that, Dalton, and I appreciate that you can can put you shining a light on the red pill that hey, this has the Christ in it. It's not this Andrew Tate red pill. It's not what remember when Andrew Tate became a Muslim? What the fuck was that about, man? Like what the fuck is going on? He became a
Wait,
Muslim.
was he not before?
Well, he took over the red pill and then he just bowed to Allah. And that's one of the worst things to ever happen in the online world. Like how many young people, I think that I love getting those emails saying, you're the only reason I'm a Christian, Zerka, because holy shit, this guy was making me want to join these temples. And it's like, we have enough jihadis on earth, bro. Like, we don't need any more
It
jihadis.
was a phase too. That whole thing was like a phase. All these guys became Muslim for like no reason. It's
It's a
insane.
terrifying thing when you see someone with millions of followers. I mean, he said he bows to Allah, and then he went to like the casino with a bunch of whores, and I'm like, holy shit! that transparency thing that I do, I think that's like the greatest thing about me. But this whole idea of like one day I'm religious like SNEAKO, and then the next day I'm fucking whores in the shadows. It's like these people are, you don't know how fucked up that makes you internally. These people
It's
are all,
sneaky, dude. It's
it is sneaky as
sneaky.
fuck. It's fucked up.
I gotta go, but it was good
Yeah.
talking to you finally. I sent you a DM, by the way, a while back, but
All right, I'll check it out, but I
yeah.
appreciate that. And Gabriella, you're next. Don't fucking smiley face me. You're next, and then we'll have Jesus, which I don't like your parents. Your parents named you after Jesus, the Lord. That's weird. Why do Mexicans have balls to do
Bro,
that?
you
Like,
gotta
no, that's
respect
not
that.
fucking cool. That's not
You
cool at all.
gotta
You're,
respect
how's
it.
that respect? Why would you ever name your son after God? That's just, what are you doing? That's
Yeah,
crazy. Like,
bro.
what are your parents thinking? Like, why do
Bro, it's
Mexicans
the
do that?
same shit as when people name people Muhammad. No,
No, it's
actually, never mind.
Muhammad's
Never
not
mind. Yeah, no,
God.
you're right. You're
What are
right.
you
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. It's God. Yeah, it's
No,
different.
no.
Yeah, my
How the
bad.
fuck? Your parents are like
No,
those.
no, you're
No,
right.
no.
No,
Your parents are like those
I take it
kids.
back.
Your parents are those kids at the playground that only draw Exodia, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? You named your child Exodia? You can't name your child Exodia. What if I name my? What if I name my child?
Yo, that's like Elon Musk. No, yeah, yeah.
No,
I
that's
can't
like if I
even.
name my
Honestly, I
child
can't argue
Lord.
it.
You got
I
to
can't
name. You
argue
got to
it.
call my child Lord. It's only you fucking Mexicans do that, and it's like, what the hell, man?
Hey, but it comes with a big responsibility, though.
I mean,
It's a burden on me. It's
no,
a
no.
burden on me.
If you're gonna be named Jesus, at least get on more steroids. Get Jesus is a lot more
Nah, you're
muscular than that,
tripping,
right?
bro. You're
Come on,
tripping.
Jesus is more big.
Steroids was not fucking
No, but if
lifting.
you're gonna
Steroids was a
represent God, you
carpenter,
should be 260 pounds. Like you should be on
bro.
steroids if you're gonna represent God.
Jesus was more Mexican than anyone else because he was a
What?
carpenter.
What the
Think
hell?
about it.
All right, okay, careful
You
now.
got to respect that.
All right,
Low
well,
IQ take.
all right. I don't know about that, but
All right,
Gabriel,
why is this woman talking?
because she's here to fucking enlighten us. We finally have a woman on the call that's not Josie's dumbass. Like
Yeah, that's true. True,
Gabriela
true,
is also
true.
a Mexican. You should get along with her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, she's kind of,
Are you
she's a little
Mexican,
baddie, huh?
Gabriela?
No,
What
no,
are
of
you?
course not.
You look a little.
I am American, but my parents are Peruvian.
That
Oh,
is a
that's even
Mexican.
worse.
That's literally
Nah,
That is
Mexican.
that's
What
not.
the
bro.
fuck?
That's
That is
Peruvian.
You're a
Central America and
Mexican.
South America. Like,
Peruvian is like,
no, that is South America.
But what is the
Okay,
difference? It's like
you're
you
in
just
Central
steal a
America.
little. You steal less, right?
Well, not really.
Oh,
bro, they steal more.
they're corrupt Peruvians.
The government.
Okay, and
And they're,
Gabriela, are you right wing, left wing? What are you? You're a liberal.
I am right wing, but I'm a classic liberal, which is like a moderate left.
You're a classic liberal.
Yeah, you're a
What?
40-year-old yapping for like 10 hours. So I mean,
Okay,
just saying.
and Gabriela, why do you hate Nick Fuentes?
I just don't like race-based politics. I don't like people advocating for certain races in America. So
Okay,
that's
and
why I don't like him, especially.
do you have a white boyfriend?
Oh, here we go. Why is that the question? And no, I don't.
Dude, they're saying you have a white boyfriend.
No, I don't.
Okay, do you have a
yo, Zherka, do you
Peruvian?
think you're white?
Well, on the Wikipedia it says I'm white. Albanians are
No,
white.
no, no. I'm asking you though.
Yeah, I follow Wikipedia. I think I'm white, 100%.
Oh, so you follow like other people's
Well,
opinions?
here it's not even just Wikipedia. It's like, do white girls suck? Yeah, 90% of the women that are white. White women,
Okay, what about your dad?
if you look,
No, because your
there's
dad's
a
your
lot of
leader. Your dad's
people.
your leader.
My
So
what?
what does your dad think he is?
My dad has green eyes.
I have green eyes as well. So
Do,
is he Mexican?
you don't have green eyes. Let me see. You don't look white. You look Mexican.